Hi guys, today's discussion is not going to be very visual, so you can look at this sneaky burglar image for a while. And the conversation is really aimed at content creators. You will doubtless be aware that if you create content and it's any good, it will get ripped off and uploaded to a whole bunch of file sharing websites. And it's the absolute bane of content creators. DAZ tried to get around it by putting some kind of content ID system into their software, but everybody hated it and they cancelled that. Then they adapted it so that it only ID'd your software for a certain amount of time. Obviously, the big issue that people had with DAZ was that if their servers went down, you couldn't use software that you legitimately purchased, and as always, penalising the honest users for the problems of the dishonest ones is a massive no-no. And now with Python 3, Bondware and the Renderosity are trying to take another swipe at getting rid of the pirates, and I don't disagree with what they're trying to do. Exactly, if we could find a way to stop the pirates getting our stuff, we'd do it. But companies with billions of dollars to spend haven't cracked it in the games industry. So what makes them think inconveniencing their users is going to do it? Anyway, that aside, what I'm really going to just do today is just give you a little bit of advice. So for those of you who are not aware, there are a whole bunch of websites where poser content and all kinds of other content are uploaded to, but a whole bunch of poser specific sites, and I keep them all bookmarked so that when I release a piece of software, piece of content, for the next month or so, I will check every single one of those sites every single day to see if my stuff has been uploaded. And usually what they do is they'll upload it to 2 or 3 different file share services. And then what you need to do is issue a takedown notice to each of those file share services. Part of the terms of their existence is that they respond to copyright takedown from legitimate owners. And this brings us to another issue, because it's infuriating. If I was DAZ or Bondware, let's go back a step. If I create a piece of software, I've created a product and I upload it to be sold, and I can see my sales each day, and I might see $1,000 a day for the first couple of days, and then suddenly it just literally drops off a cliff, and it always coincides with the sharing of my product online. And the horrible irony is that if I release a product that's not all that great, it doesn't get bought and it doesn't get shared, and so I actually conversely can make more money from it, which is really stupid. But it's the users, I guess, are harsh mistress. They speak with their wallets, and the pirates do the same in terms of not sharing stuff that they don't think is very good. But what you need to do is get a takedown notice issued to each of these file share sites straight away. They still, even though a lot of them are hosted in Eastern Europe and on anonymous servers and stuff, they do still conform to European and American copyright laws. So what I have here is a standard takedown notice which I've created. This is not mine. This is one that I've set up, and you just save this as a Word file. And then each site will have its own. Let me just go to, let's say, Nova file. Let's find Nova file now. So Nova file. I'm assuming that's .com. Cloud storage service, sharing service, and there'll usually be a DMCA or an abuse thing. So here I go to DMCA notice, and let me see, and then here's an address, abuse@Nova file. So in my email address, in my address book, I'll have the addresses of all of these different services, and then I'll just send a standard takedown notice to each of them that I sees my files have been hosted on, and then they have, I think, 48 hours or 72 hours to take it down. Unfortunately, in that amount of time, it's like a computer game. The computer games companies make the majority of their sales in the first week of selling, I believe it is. In fact, probably the first few days. And what they want to do is introduce anti-piracy measures that just enable them to sell for that first few days or that first week. And unfortunately, in 48 or 72 hours it takes for these guys to respond to your takedown notice, you've already lost thousands, tens of thousands of dollars worth of sales, which is really annoying. That they ought to be, their whole existence is based around piracy, but it's just a fabrication that it's file sharing. But it does bring me to another issue. So you've issued these takedown notices. I'm waving at the screen as if you can see me. You've issued these takedown notices to your not so friendly file sharing services, but the real issue is that you might lose a few $1,000s, but the companies like DAZ and Bondware and CG Bytes collectively lose probably tens of millions of dollars a year, and yet they don't have an agent, as it were, whose job is to go around and issue takedown notices. And the reason for that is because the law appears to be structured such that only the original copyright holder can issue takedown notices, which is ridiculous. That once you upload something to a website, you should be able to assign agency to that website, that vendor, to issue takedown notices on your behalf. And it really seems to me to be an issue with the law where that doesn't happen. And if that is already legally the case where you can be an agent of the person, it does make me wonder why DAZ doesn't have a full-time person who does this, because it would more than pay for the wages of the person. Now, there is one exception where that it won't work, and that's paid download services, where people have to pay a membership to get access to the links to your content, and I refuse to pay these bastards a membership to protect my own content, so I'm afraid I just lose whatever they're sharing. But anyway, guys, look, hopefully that just gives you an idea on a way to protect your own content. My belief, and it may be mistaken, but my belief is that if I issue takedowns every single time my content goes up through every single vendor, the people sharing tend to share through the same account every time, and when they get enough strikes for copyright, then they lose that account. And it could be that they just can't get that account back, or they have to go to the inconvenience of setting up a new account. So if they see that you're going to challenge their sharing every single time, they're going to be extremely leery of sharing anything by you. When you look at a really huge artist such as Stonemason, who has doubtless lost hundreds of thousands of dollars over his career to the pirates, I really feel that challenging piracy should be a part of his career. There's an old truism amongst musicians that many great musicians don't make it because they don't like the admin. And that's true, dealing with venues and searching new places to play and all of that kind of thing is soul destroying, but it's part of the job. And likewise with making content, there's nothing more annoying than having to send takedown notices to every single site where your content is copied, or shared rather. But the fact is that it takes less than a minute per site to do it, and that minute could make you thousands of dollars. So what else are you doing that's worth thousands of dollars? So the thing is, for somebody like Stonemason, and I'm using him, he may already challenge every single upload, but every single share. But the thing is, he could spend 100% of his time making models, and you know, all of the stuff that goes with them, the adverts and all the crap that you have to put on the sales sites to go with your models, and then lose 90% of his sales. Or he could spend 90% of his time making models, 10% challenging takedowns, which it wouldn't be that much, but 10% seeking his content online and challenging takedowns, and get to keep 50% of his sales. So it seems to me to be a no-brainer that you always challenge the file sharers. You know, it's a miserable job, but it needs to be done. You know, it's just one of those admin things, like making adverts to sell your stuff on Renderosity. Absolutely soul destroyingly boring, having to make adverts for your products to jump through all the hoops on Renderosity, but that's just what goes with the territory. To be honest, having to make all of the adverts for their constantly changing standards is one reason why I've not sold on there for a long time. But yeah, you know, so I think personally it's a no-brainer that you should always challenge, you know, the copyright sharing. Now, you might be wondering why I've not shared a list of these file share services with you, but the thing is that I don't want to drive traffic there, and I don't want to help people who are going to be pirating stuff to make it even easier. But I'm sure that you would not find it that difficult to find some of these sites if you need to. So anyway, I will speak to you guys later, and you take care.